I created this show as if it were a sculptural journey, kind of like an epic poem throughout the garden. And the first sculpture that you encounter is in that sunken fountain garden, and that sculpture is called Resident Passage. And the opportunity to create a fountain out of a sculpture was so tempting that I created quite a cascade of water coming down from this giant bronze pyramid. And after that, you go and you rise up to the main lawn and you encounter a very different energy, which is source code, which is a giant pyramid of circuitry patterns, but it holds at its keystone this verdant cone of plants and this weeping birch tree and all these other soon-to-be cascading vines and flowers. And what I wanted to comment on was, essentially, we have created a temple bowing down to our gods of technology. But that temple to technology is really held in place by the source code, not of a computer code, but the source code of all things, which is nature. And if you take out the keystone of source code, the entire sculpture will fall apart. So the next part of the journey is where we're sitting right now, which is called Seed of Self. It's in the Streb Garden. It's a little bit hidden away, and it's really quiet. But this is where I wanted people to take the opportunity to sink into themselves and the experience of finding a seat on the edge of now in this sculpture that really it symbolizes the division of time between our past and our future. And I imagine that a giant magical seed fell from this beautiful garden's trees and split open and gave you this opportunity to kind of stop time and think about your own life. And then you wander on, doing a circuit through like the children's garden over here, and then you come to a portal that is this giant omega symbol, the omega symbol from the Greek alphabet, which symbolizes the end. It's the last letter. And I came up with this sculpture's concept during the pandemic. This whole show was conceived during the pandemic. But it was in 2020, it was the breaking point for all of us. It's kind of like before and after. So to honor that, I created a sculpture that is a radial framework of spears that come through the symbol of the end, that form in its arrow tips a silhouette of a human figure that, if you dare to walk through it, is actually kind of a ritual to acknowledge the reforming of identity that we all had in this tumultuous time of the pandemic, and questioning everything from our social fabric to the environment to our leadership to pretty much everything, and it just acknowledged how hard it was, but to also acknowledge that the end is also a beginning, and that evolving through struggle is what humans do best. And so Breaking Point is about honoring that shift and also summoning the courage to evolve in your own life through that change and through that struggle. The last but not least sculpture is ancestors. And the ancestors sculpture is very close to my heart. It is kind of like also a portal, but a portal of energy that kind of honors the unseen forces of the spirits that we have lost and gone before us. And it's about presence and absence, and it's about the fact that we as living beings also contain the multitudes of the thousands of millions of people that have come before us paving the way.